Hello everyone, I'm Haley Schibel. I'm an artist and educator with BRIC. In my own artistic practice, I like to animate and create paper illustrations. I also teach on behalf of BRIC in Brooklyn community centers and schools. Today we're going to be making a stop motion animation using a technique where it looks like a drawing is being created all on its own. I'm going to make a couple different examples with you so that you can see all the different possibilities of how you can make this at home. Let's get started. So here are all of the supplies that you will need to complete your project. Any types of drawing materials or art supplies, a few sheets of paper, some for sketching that could be scrap paper, and then also a nice piece of paper for your final project. It doesn't have to be white, it could be any color that you have at home. Tape, because we're going to be taping our paper to the wall to keep it stable and in place. And then last but not least, you'll need a tablet or a phone with a camera. We're going to be using an app called Stop Motion Studio. The app is free for anyone to use, and it works on any device as long as that device has a camera. Animation is the process of making something look like it is coming to life. There are many different types of animation. However, today we are going to focus on stop motion animation. Stop motion is created when an animator takes a series of photograph frames, making a small change in between each new individual one. When you look at these frames in order quickly, it creates the illusion of movement. With stop motion, you could move everyday objects, but today we are actually going to be using drawing. Abstract art can use any shapes, colors, or lines, but does not look like something that exists in the real world. Representational art is something that you could easily recognize from the real world, like a flower. At home, you can decide what you would like to draw. Other ideas might include an imaginary world, favorite toy, or even a character. I recommend to sketch or quick draw your idea before you animate. It's always a lot easier to go in with a plan, and you're less likely to make mistakes if you have some idea what your animation is going to look like ahead of time. Once you have your sketch or your idea, you're going to want to keep it close so that you can refer to it while you're animating. So I'm going to keep mine right here. I also have my art supplies close by as well. The next thing you're going to want to do to set up your workstation is to tape your paper to the wall. So you want to find a wall and then also somewhere that you can prop up your phone. I have used my book and a coaster to keep it steady, but whatever you have at home that you think will keep your phone or tablet really stable is perfect. So I'm going to set mine here. A trick is you always want your device, whether it's a tablet or phone, to be horizontal. You don't want it to be up and down in portrait mode, because usually when you're sharing animation videos, it's always horizontal like this in widescreen. So I'm going to set it here. And then I'm going to show you how to use Stop Motion Studio so that we can get started. So once you have Stop Motion Studio set up on your phone, you're going to want to open the app. Again, it's a free app to use, and it's a great way to take a bunch of pictures to create an animation. So once you have it geared up, you're going to want to push the plus sign to create a new movie. And it's going to take you to this screen where you want to tap to add pictures. So when I tap this, it's going to set up my camera so that I can then start to take some photographs. So now that I'm all set up with stop motion animation studio on my phone and also set up and pointing directly at my paper, I am going to start to animate and draw. Now I want my first picture or frame to just be the blank white paper on the wall, so I'm actually just going to take my first photograph by pressing the red button on the screen, just very gently, because I don't want to knock my phone over, especially since it's not as secure as I would like it to be. My next step is going to be, I'm going to use the yellow first, and I'm going to use my screen as a guide. I want to make sure that I see my paint pen on the screen before I start to draw, and I'm going to draw my first shape. So my first yellow circle, not red, my first yellow circle, I am going to draw and then take my second photograph. So every time you take a photograph, you want to make a change then and draw something else. So I'm going to draw the next shape the next circle, and then take a picture. And I'm going to keep doing this repeatedly until I'm able to draw everything that I had sketched out in my initial brainstorm quick draw. So drawing and then taking a picture. Now if you do accidentally bump your phone or accidentally move it in place, there's actually something called onion skinning that exists right here. It's a little slider on your left side that you can move it up and down and you can start to see the last image that you took. All right, now that our drawing is done and we've taken all of our photos for our animation, let me show you how to export your project. Now my animation is complete and I'm ready to export my movie. So when I stop taking photographs, I can go back and start to see that I have all of my frames captured here. And when I look at it really quickly, it creates the illusion of movement. So my next step is going to be sharing it with everyone I know. So I'm going to go back with this arrow back here. I am going to push and hold the movie that I would like to share. And then in this top corner here, I have an option to actually share it and save it. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to click Export Movie, and then I'm going to save it to my phone. But you could also send it to YouTube or email it to a friend. Now we tried an abstract drawing. What would it look like if we decided to use this process to make flowers? What if we decided to use pens instead of markers, or even just pencils? Maybe you create something really detailed. Since I have a really more complex idea for this house, I am going to start off with just pencil lines and gradually outline and color it in. The possibilities for this project are definitely endless. It's totally up to you what you would like to draw, how much detail it has, and what tools you decide to use. Just remember to please just have fun, be creative, and share if you want to with us. We'd love to see what you're working on.